we might give you one fumble of grace. I mean, we are pastors here on this podcast, so
That's right.
we're all about grace.
All
But
about second chances.
that's right, all about second chances, all about grace. You know, but at some point there is a consequence for your sin or your
That's right.
fumble, right? Welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Corner. We are your hosts. I'm Andrew, and with me, as always, is my great friend, Mr. Dale Baker. Hey, we want to remind you, make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a review, and comment on this post or wherever you're seeing or viewing this at or listening to it. Leave us a comment on it. Let us know what you think. So, hey, but we are here today on a Victory Monday, Dale. It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to say that.
That's exactly right. Victory Monday feels good, even though it's raining here. It feels like a better day. It feels like the sun is a little warmer on the skin today.
That's right. It sure does. That rain doesn't feel near as cold as it would
That's
otherwise. So,
exactly right.
yeah. So, hey, Victory Monday against the Indianapolis Colts, the noon game, went into overtime even, but the Chiefs come out with the victory. And so there's lots of good things about this game
Yeah,
and
yeah.
lots of games that leave you scratching your head and maybe worried about the future. But overall, what did you think about this game?
Yeah, I felt like the Chiefs tried to lose this game. They tried to give the Indianapolis Colts every opportunity to put us away,
Yeah.
and they did not. And I thought like one of the big things was I think it would have been easy for the Chiefs to give up, the defense to give up, the offense to give up, and they did not. They fought and dug in. I mean, like seemed like they rallied around it. So this could be the game that turns around the season. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Wright had that thing, the tackle that turned the tide, which
Right.
didn't quite turn out to be as good as he thought it was going to be. But maybe he'll have something for this game too, because this game, even though it was a sloppy win, they got the win and they fought
Right.
back for it. And maybe it's better that they got that one score win, in the bag rather than losing another one of those and going further down that progression of just feeling worse and worse about these one possession games. So now they know that they can still do it.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing, pretty crazy to see. Just the fact that hey, they did not start out hot, giving up or at least putting stopping them there
Yeah.
for the first part of it, and then throwing an interception real quick was not a good omen to the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that defense was going to allow a touchdown on that first drive because the first half of that drive is like they're just moving down the field at will again. And,
Right.
they got a few stops on Jonathan Taylor that first drive, but the first half of that drive, he was getting 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a long game if it can
Yeah.
keep this up here. But luckily, the defense buckled down only to have Patrick Mahomes turn it over there at the 2 yard line, which with a tip up and I don't know if it was a miraculous catch, but a good catch either way. And
Right.
Mahomes stops the touchdown initially on the run back, but they end up getting it anyways. But brings me to my first question: Is Mahomes, what is he doing this year that makes him look so much different than before? And I say it because it seems like every game, or at least a lot of games, he's having some critical interceptions that are not
Yeah.
always going off the receiver's hands. They're just bad decisions.
Yeah, I think you were spot on with it last episode, where you said it feels like Mahomes is just pressing, like he's trying so hard to make plays happen, and he's trying to get like instead of just taking. I think a couple years ago, he would just take what was given to him, and it could be a screen or it could be like just a little dump off or whatever it was. But it seems like he's pressing. I think like in the sense that he was throwing to Rasheed Rice and he wanted to get Rasheed Rice involved early, which I don't blame him. I mean, I want to get Rasheed Rice involved early as well, but I think it was just a little bit pressure. Like he knew he was going to throw the ball over there, no matter what, and that defensive lineman just dropped back, and it was almost like practice for him. So yeah, and then I saw a clip I think I sent to you was a former Chief quarterback Alex Smith just
My guy.
uh, talk about how the same thing is that Mahomes is just trying to create too much instead of just let the offense come to him. And so that's why I think
Yeah.
what's going on and happening. And then he sees his running back room, and I mean Kareem Hunt. I mean, hats off, brother. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to. I don't know if he's able to walk today, but he had a quite
Yeah.
a game, and I think he kind of looks back at his running back room, and then with Pacheco hurt and older Kareem Hunt. and a rookie. It's like, okay, I might have to make some things happen here. And so I think he forced it. So that's kind of my analysis. And I think I disagree with you, what you said last episode.
You disagree with me?
I agree. I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
you
I
agree with
agree with
me.
what you
Okay.
said last episode is that he's
Yeah,
just pressing.
I think there's a lot of that because if you remember for his first year or two, I mean, he was just airing it out down the field. And I
Yeah.
mean, defenses then moved to that two cover look where they're playing deep to not allow that. And he had to adjust and then had to adjust that. And so football in the NFL is all about making adjustments. That's the entire game is making
Right.
adjustments. I mean, even during the game, your coaches have to make adjustments for what the other team is doing, how they're
Yeah.
playing you, what they're allowing you to do, what they're not allowing you to do. All those things you have to make adjustments for. And so Mahomes is at another part of his career where he's got to learn how to make another adjustment because
Right.
right now he's playing like a second year quarterback, honestly. Like I mean he is because he's so
Yeah.
locked in
Yeah.
sometimes on who he wants to get it to that he's like I can do it. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have the skill to get it to him, but sometimes
Right.
the coverage is so good that there's no reason to put the ball in harm's way. Right?
Right.
If it's maybe the end of the game and you have to get a drive to win and it's the best look you got, then yeah, sure,
Yeah.
try to squeeze it in there. But to for the first possession of the game, that's not that time to try to squeeze it in there. I mean, especially when you're backed up at your own 2 yard line, you just got to be able to get the ball out. And so yeah, he's trying to force the ball sometimes into places where it doesn't need to be, instead of just working through his progression and taking the downs. But the flip side is I do think that Mahomes needs to run the ball more. And I know you disagree with me a little bit on this, which is fine. You can be
Yeah.
wrong all
Yeah.
you want to be,
Oh yeah.
but Mahomes needs to run the ball more because right now he's only running it, in desperate situations when he really
Right.
needs to. And I'm not saying to run and put your body in harm's way like he
Yeah.
did at least one time in this game where he
Yeah.
got stopped at like the 2 or 3, whatever it was, and just got
Gee whiz.
blasted at it. And
Yeah.
when that happened, I was thinking, oh, please get up, please get up. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm just saying make the defense respect your escapability and run game and run and get out of bounds or slide, whatever it is, where if you can make a guy miss, make a guy miss. But I think to add that other element to their game is only going to help.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think like one of the things where was super shocking about Mahomes and watching him yesterday was like it seemed like he was a little bit off still. Like he's still off little bit. And one, I think it was in the third quarter where Travis Kelsey was wide open and like had nothing but green grass in front of him, and like he threw it over his head, and I was like that. I mean, I can't even think of a time where he's like overthrown Travis Kelsey or like not knowing where Travis Kelsey's out on the field, and so yeah, that was super shocking
Well,
uh, to
to
see.
that, what do you think about this offensive line? And this is going back to Mahomes, so I'm
Yeah.
setting you up a little bit. But what do you think about this offensive line?
Yeah, I think it's serviceable, but I think when Trey Smith got injured and got taken out of the game, I think that kind of rushed his clock a little bit. Just knowing that Caliendo, I mean, Caliendo did well enough to be in there and to slow people down. But yeah, I think that kind of triggered some things because was that early, was that in the second quarter or was that early third?
It was somewhere around there. I don't remember
Yeah,
exactly when it was, but
yeah,
yeah,
so you hate to see a guy get rolled up like that on the ankle, and so he was already.
yeah.
Was his ankle already bothering him? Was it that
No,
like
his was his back. He was having
okay,
some
his
back
back?
things.
Okay, all right. So it was Worthy's ankle. It was already bothering him, and
Yes.
then still Rasheed Rice. I don't know what's going on with him. Didn't look right, and then Noah Gray. My goodness, we're dropping like flies over here. So on a short week, but anyway,
Well,
we can talk about that a little bit later here.
yeah. All I know
But
is
the
that
offensive line, yeah. What do you? I mean, yeah. I think he has flashbacks of last year where he had no time. And I
yeah.
think that like runs up his clock. But I think the offensive line's doing okay. I think there are times where they get beat, but I think once he starts feeling that pressure, he's like, all right, we got to go. And so, yeah.
And I think this offensive line is much different with Josh Simmons in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
taking nothing away from Jalen Moore. He did a very good job for what he needed to do for while he was in there. But Josh Simmons, I mean, from the very few games we've even watched him play, he
Yeah.
is a lights out kind of player. I mean, he was every bit worth a first round pick, and probably other teams are looking at that now saying, man, we should have picked him a lot earlier in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
And so Josh Simmons makes that line so much better. And maybe he does not quite trust it again, Mahomes that is, but because of that, I do think that he is rushing through things and and
Yeah.
instead of trusting his protection,
Yeah.
trusting the pocket to stay there,
Yeah.
1 or 2 seconds longer. He's again rushing it and is putting the ball in harm's way or not putting the ball exactly where it needs to be. And I think he needs to learn again. Hey, this offensive line is going to be okay. So because we already know if Mahomes doesn't trust his offensive line, he is not the same player.
No.
And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing this year is Mahomes is not trusting those guys yet, and he needs to.
Right.
So he needs to learn to trust those guys. And I understand they're going to get beat at times. I understand they're not the best offensive line in the NFL. But I do think when Josh Simmons and they're all healthy and on that line, including Trey Smith, when they're all there, I do think that they are a top 10 offensive line.
Yeah.
Not saying top three, maybe not even top five, but I think they are top 10, and he needs to start trusting those guys. Those guys are getting paid, especially those guys in the middle.
Right.
Well, even Jawan Taylor's getting paid. We got at least three
Gee
of those five
whiz.
guys that are getting lots of
Yeah.
money to be there. As such, at some point he's got to trust them if he's going to get back to what we know Mahomes can be.
Right.
So and so he needs to start making some of those adjustments in that way as well.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just real quick thought for us is do you rest Trey Smith just because it is a short week and then just go Caliendo? Because I mean the Dallas Cowboys defensive line isn't like crazy good, I don't think, but I mean like just,
Well, they got rid of Micah Parsons, which
yeah.
helps, but they got Quentin Williams from the Jets,
Oh,
who is a
well, that's
big
right. That's
body
right. You're right.
guy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
he usually lines up in the middle. So if we can, well, to your point, that might be right where Trey Smith is. So,
Yeah.
uh, if it depends on his injury, so
Yeah.
it
We can
depends
talk
on how.
about it. I'm sure we'll get an injury
Yeah,
report here very quick and figure out once he gets MRI and see how bad it is.
right. So we'll probably
So,
hear from the Chiefs later today about exactly the extent of that injury, but the extent of that injury would depend on if I would rush him back or if I would just rest him
yeah.
and let him get another week to heal that. So we'll see. But the other thing that was concerning in this game, we talked about Mahomes' interception, but then we had Kareem Hunt fumbling in the red zone,
Yeah.
who never fumbles. And I think they even pointed out in the broadcast that this was the first time in, I think, 3 years or something like that, that the Chiefs have lost a fumble. Now they have fumbled the ball, that means, but they just haven't lost it. So this is the first time they've lost a fumble in about 3 years, which just goes to
Wow.
show how much those guys protect the ball. Um, and, because we also know that when you fumble the ball too much, Andy Reid just not going to put you in the game. Look
Yeah.
at LaShawn McCoy, the short time he's with the Chiefs, and I've mentioned him several times. He likes to run with that ball without protecting it. Just said, "Hey, here's a little piece of candy. Anybody want it?" They got to come and get it, and they get it, and they're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
how'd you get that? I don't know how you
Yeah.
got it. I was holding it in my hand right here for you. How did you get that?" And then he never saw the field again after that. And
Never
so
again. Yeah. He was
so
mad.
Andy
He's still mad about that.
Oh, he's very mad. And
Yeah.
the thing is, he was blaming Andy Reid and saying how bad Andy Reid was when he knew who Andy Reid was because he played
Right.
with him in Philadelphia. And he's since cooled on the subject on Andy Reid at
Oh yeah.
least. And he said, "Oh man, Andy Reid's such a great coach." And so, but he was mad in the moment because he knew he was wrong and somebody held him accountable for it in Andy
Yeah.
Reid. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but that's to my point is that Andy Reid holds these guys accountable, and all those coaches do. Says if you fumble this ball, you are not going to see the field very much. I mean, we,
No.
we might give you one fumble of grace, I mean, we are pastors here on this podcast, so
That's right.
we're all about grace.
All
But
about second chances.
that's right, all about second chances, all about grace, But at some point, there is a consequence for your sin or your
That's right.
fumble, right? There you go. See,
That's right. That's the
uh,
bench.
that's the bench, right?
Yeah.
But when Kareem Hunt fumbled this one time, I did not think is worthy to be benched,
Oh
and
no.
nobody did because that was the first time he fumbled. So, and you could tell he was fuming after that. And I'm telling you, maybe you noticed it too. When he got the ball after that, that guy was going to run through anybody that got in his way.
Yeah.
And
Oh
there's
yeah.
at least one play there that he looked like Jonathan Taylor because he broke
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
or four tackles and
Oh
got
yeah.
15 yards or whatever it was on that run. So it was good to see him bounce back from that too.
Yes, it was, and to have a Marcus Allen reappearance, I mean, jumping over the pile. I mean, that
Oh
brought me
man,
back to the early '90s there, watching Marcus Allen play, and you always knew he was going over the top, and so there
yeah.
he
Or
is.
Priest Holmes, my guy, right?
Yeah, your
So
guy Priest Holmes. So
Priest
yeah,
Holmes
it
did that
was just
too.
he was not going to be denied, and so yeah.
No,
So I guess the real
man,
question to you is: are the Colts for real, or are they frauds? What are they? What are the Colts to you?
that's a great question, Dale. Which I
Eight
don't
and
think
three.
I still don't know if we know the answer to that. Which, as
Okay.
crazy as that sounds, because I think that their defense has a lot of holes. I mean, we came into the year everybody thinking that their defense was top
Yeah.
notch, and maybe they are, and maybe the Chiefs' offense have just figured some things out, and maybe we're going to see something different moving forward when we're not playing a Colts defense, right? And so maybe
Yeah.
the Colts defense really is that good, but they. And I'm not saying that they're bad by any means. They're serviceable and they're good. I just don't know that they're a top five defense. I think they're
Yeah.
more like top 10 defense. Uh, and so I think that the Colts are good and they're going to win a lot of games.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that they're necessarily in the running to be a Super Bowl contender, if that's what you're
Okay.
asking. So
There you go.
I don't even know if they're going to be. Well, I can't say they won't make the AFC Championship game because the flip side is I don't know much of AFC teams that look really dominant. So
No.
maybe the Colts are the most dominant in the AFC. So when it comes to the AFC, the Colts have got to be, man, they got to be up there. You have to consider them at this point. We are, what, 12 weeks into the season, right? And so this is just week 12 that we played. And
Yeah.
so at this point, you can't just say, well, they're just living off luck anymore. At some point, you have to say, this is who they are. And so
Right.
hats off to the Colts. They have compiled an 8-3 record, which is a very great record to have at
Oh
this
yeah.
point of the season, especially compared to the rest of the field. And so are they frauds? I think Daniel Jones is a fraud. I don't know if I could say anybody else on that team's a fraud though.
No,
So
Jonathan Taylor is really good, really, really
yes,
good, and he
yes,
showed spurts of it. I mean, just get out tackles and things like that, and so it was pretty impressive to watch. Yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt had a great game, and to your credit, where I mean, let's not stop talking about the Colts. Let's talk about the Chiefs.
that's right.
Kareem Hunt had a great game, and I don't know if he's walking, like I said earlier today, but I mean, just the fact that the Chiefs had a signing, signed off the Houston's practice squad, Damian Pierce, and so your initial thoughts on Damian Pierce?
I'll take all the help we can get. So, because at this point,
Yeah.
that kind of makes me think too, if they're signing him, how serious is this Pacheco injury? Or
Right.
because we saw last year when Pacheco got hurt, Kareem Hunt came in, and for about 2 games, Kareem Hunt looked really good.
Right.
And then he started slowing down. Not,
Yeah.
I mean, not for anything that he could help. He's just getting older. His body
Yeah.
can't take all those hits as much as those young guys can. And so Kareem Hunt's gonna if he continues to get those 30 carries like he did yesterday, I mean, I said going into that game that if we got 20 carries, we'd probably win the game.
You
And
did say that.
Kareem Hunt got 30 carries on his own.
Yeah.
So they ended up total carrying the ball about 41 times, which is
Wow.
crazy. I never would have guessed if you would have gave me 20 guesses, I never would have guessed 41 as far as the attempts that they had at rushing yesterday. And so that was crazy. So I really thought they'd balance it out even more when they did run, but they didn't. They gave uh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they gave him a couple carries. Mahomes had one carry. Travis Kelce had one, but Kareem Hunt got 30 carries on his own. And so, yeah, I mean, hats off to Kareem Hunt. But this Damian Pierce signing, I think, is a good signing in the long run, but it also makes
Yeah.
me wonder. Well, I guess it makes me wonder two things: how serious is Pacheco's injury, and do the Chiefs trust that Pacheco can be the guy that they thought he was going to be?
Yeah, and I watched just a couple highlights of Damian Pierce's film, and it seemed like he got drafted and he got plugged in right away, and he had a great rookie season. I think he had like 1,100 yards in his first season, and after that, it kind of just took a downward spiral because I think Joe Mixon came over and he took a lot of carries. Is it Mike Single? Not Mike Singletary, but another guy that just kind of took some carries, and I think he dealt with some injuries. And so he was on the practice squad, and they kind of just waived him to make room, and or maybe he was on the roster, but they waived him and to make some room, and so the Chiefs grabbed him, and so it's pretty impressive. No one else wanted him, so it makes you kind of question because the Chiefs are pretty bottom on that waiver wire. But yeah, just to see what he can do, just and just makes you scratch your head and think, what is going on with Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah,
What are they seeing to bring him up and then put him back down? And then obviously they're seeing something we're not. And so, yeah, it'll just be, and the Chiefs are so professional. They're not going to bash a player or anything like that just because, and I mean, the crazy thing is they
right.
paid him. They paid him
Yeah,
some money. I mean,
yeah,
they didn't pay him like league minimum. They paid him some money to come over and play. And so it's like, why not use him? So it's pretty
yeah,
interesting to think about the drama in the Chiefs locker room.
yeah. Which you'll never hear about, but there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah.
Uh, but the other side is, I want to give a fair warning to all the Chiefs fans. If you're expecting Damian Pierce to come in here and be his rookie
Oh,
self
yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
basically take over that starting role, you're deceiving yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he doesn't have the skill or ability to maybe potentially get there. I mean, just based on our running back room and based on if Pacheco remains hurt and based on how many carries and how many hits Kareem Hunt's going to end up taking. So
Right.
there's is a possibility he could find himself into that starting role eventually if that injury prolongs itself. But if we are expecting him to make a huge impact, there's a reason all the other teams passed on him.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Well,
saying,
the thing, like, I mean, poor Pacheco, being injured and just like this, he's kind of ever since that first injury, it kind of just has breeded injuries for him. And so, yeah, I just think, and then, I don't think they have a lot of faith in Clyde Edwards-Helaire either. So, I mean, bringing this guy, he might be a little more serviceable than Clyde or
yeah,
Elijah Mitchell. Who knows?
yeah,
But competition's good too. Bring
yeah,
a little competition to the game and let's see what happens.
yeah. So I'm excited to see how they plan to use him, if they even use him at all. I mean, we
Right.
thought that about Elijah Mitchell, and they haven't used him at all. So we'll just see what happens with that. So, but the
Yeah.
other thing in this game, so we had the interception, we had the fumble in the red zone, and then we
Uh-huh.
also had another big play that I thought was a big momentum shifter when the Chiefs scored the first touchdown that didn't actually count as a touchdown. Uh, they scored that touchdown, but
Yeah.
then it got called back for a phantom face mask on Jawan Taylor, and I am not the biggest Jawan Taylor supporter. I don't think most people are. I might be more so than most people even
All right.
because
Yeah.
not that I'm a huge one, but I just think that sometimes people give him a lot of flack. Some he very well deserves, and some that he doesn't. And
Right.
a lot of that's just based on his past, and so they just assume the worst of him, whether it's true or not. But that was a phantom face mask that he did not grab, did not pull, nothing, didn't get his fingers in there, nothing of the sort. They even showed on the replay of the screen. You could see Juwan Taylor reacting and saying, "Look at the screen." And Tony
Right.
Romo, because he does not know what he's talking about, apparently, he says Andy Reid can challenge that. And I thought in the moment, no, we can't. The coaches cannot challenge a face mask. That's
Yeah.
not a challengeable call by the coach. Now, could New York step in and say, hey, that wasn't something? Yes, they've changed that this year where New York can step in. If they see something very clear and obvious, they can step in and say, hey, pick that up. That's not a flag, whatever it is. But they
Yeah.
chose not to do that. But as such, the Chiefs ended up getting 3 points out of that drive instead of seven, because that 15 yards, that's hard to overcome, those 15-yard penalties. And so, all that to say this, the Chiefs have a lot going for them, and every time they get momentum going, even beyond
Yep.
this game, it
Yep.
seems like penalties are the things that's holding them up.
Right.
If they can figure out how to clean up some of these things, they're going to be putting up closer to 30 points a game.
Oh yeah. And I think not only just penalties, just mistakes, right? Just mistakes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess those are penalties. Yeah. But like this interceptions and things like that, like your defense got to stop. And so it's like, oh man, all right, let's take advantage of this. And then, oh, we throw an interception, or, oh, we fumbled in the red zone. Oh, we're going to take a commanding lead. Yeah, we're going to, cut the lead in half. And so, yeah. So, one thing I do want to talk about is at the end of the game, did you think that Chiefs got too cute with running out the clock instead of just trying to score? Or do you
Are you
think they
talking
were
about
trying to get cute to run out the clock
are you talking about an overtime, or are you talking about at the end of the regulation?
at the end of regulation?
Yeah, I thought they were trying to get too. At first, I'm like, they're just trying to run the clock down, which I understand.
Right.
But at the same point, it's like, let's just try to finish this. Let's not try to give it an opportunity to go into
Right.
overtime because we know that I mean, now with overtime rules, everybody's pretty much
Y-
going to get a shot. But if
Right.
I remember correctly, I think if you get a touchdown though uh, to start overtime, you win either way in the regular season. In the postseason, it's different. Unless they change that this year and I just missed it. But I believe that if you score a touchdown to start overtime, you win. Is that right?
Okay. I think it's the only way. I think you still get a chance.
Oh, you get a
It's
chance
just
either way now.
it's just a
Okay.
10 minute. It's just a 10 minute quarter, no matter what. So you don't get any more time. And then I think the only way it ends automatically is if you get a safety
Okay.
on the
All right.
first drive. So if you get a
Okay. Well,
safety,
that
yeah,
must be something new this year because
right.
last year it was that way, and they change these all the time, so
Well, I think
I can't keep up.
The Bills cried about
Yeah.
something,
Well,
and
I know in the postseason it has been
uh-huh,
that way for a couple years now
right,
that everyone's going to get an opportunity to touch the ball no matter what.
yeah,
But either way, I thought that the Chiefs should have finished it in regulation, and instead
yeah,
they're like, "Hey, let's just try to do all these fancy moves and try to do
yeah,
whatever and try." It's like, no, just put the ball in the end zone.
right,
Let's just
yeah,
end this thing and not even worry about it. Yes, they might have 20 seconds, but with how our defense has been playing, I don't think they can get down the field in 20
no,
seconds.
yeah.
So I would just say put the ball in the end zone and let's finish it and not trying to go to overtime and just see what could happen.
Right, because that would have put us up by 4 points, and they would have had to get a touchdown instead of field goal. So it
Right.
really wasn't like a lot of, yeah. It was like, and I don't know if Daniel Jones could do that. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's not like, well, what are we doing? You were at the 1 yard line or 2 yard line, and you can't punch it in. We had three chances. I mean, I know they had timeouts and all that, but still, come on, give them
I
a
would
minute.
if you just hand that to Kareem Hunt three times, he's going to get
Yeah,
in there one of those times. Just they might stop him once, maybe even twice, but
right.
I'm just telling you, and nothing against the Colts defense, but I just don't think the Colts defensive line is the one to be feared as
Yeah,
far as running the ball against them. And so if you
right.
run it three times against them for 1 or 2 yards, you're going to get that touchdown. And I would have just trusted him. I mean, he Kareem Hunt jumped the pile just a few minutes earlier, right? From
Right.
1 or 2 yards out, he might be able to jump that far again. So let's
Who
just
knows?
yeah, maybe he's used all of his energy carrying it 30 times and couldn't jump anymore. Who knows? But just yeah, they got a little too cute there. They need to just punch it
Yeah.
in and finish the game.
Well, and I think like one more thought on our offense, and then we can talk about our defense. Is that I mean, the first two quarters they had two 8 minute drives.
Yeah.
Now they only got 3 points. Now we like to see seven out of those things, but I thought that was pretty impressive. Just the ball control and to be able to walk down the field like that, just methodically and everything just kind of clicking. And it just like for whatever reason, once we get inside the 20, we just can't put it together to get it into the end zone. So I don't know. And that used to be Andy Reid's cup of tea, right? That used to be his thing. Was like, if I'm in the red zone, we're scoring, And now it seems like we're really struggling to get it in. Do you think it's the creative plays or do you think it's the personnel? Like, do you think it's too much pressure? You think people
Uh,
are taking away things? What do you think it is?
I already know what it is. It's the play
Oh,
calling. So, well, I'm just saying, look, so last year they struggled in the red
yeah.
zone as well, right?
Uh-huh.
But you're right. In the past, they have done very well in the red zone. But
Oh yeah.
look at the plays they used to call in the red zone versus what they're calling now. I
Yeah.
mean, they did like a ring around the rosy play
Yeah.
call one year, right? I don't know. I think there was a penalty on that play, and so they got
Yeah.
called back anyways. But and they used to do very creative plays like that, where defense are
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"What is happening here?"
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they truly have no clue what's going on. How many of those kind of trick plays or creative plays, however you want to phrase it, how many of those have you seen in the red zone this year?
Well, we saw one today
We
or one
saw one.
yesterday.
Which one was that?
The Travis Kelsey a direct snap
I
RPO.
that's not a fancy play. We run that all the
Oh.
time.
Oh,
So
okay. All right.
and
All
we
right.
run that with him and Rasheed Rice all the time in the red zone. That's not a creative play when you've run it 20 times. Is it creative
Yeah.
because it's different? Sure. Is it creative because the defense doesn't know what's happening? Not at all. Because
Yeah.
we've run that so much, it's not as creative anymore. And I'm not saying you can't run it, but I'm
No.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
saying that the play calling when we were succeeding in the red zone was because of new play calls that defenses
Right.
have never seen.
Oh, the like
And
you mean like the shuttle pass underneath, where the
yeah,
tire where
the
Travis
first
yeah,
time
yeah.
we ever did that, teams were like, "What is happening?" Like, and now other
Yeah.
teams are even doing that because they saw how effective it was. But yes,
Right.
that is a big problem. Is that our play calling is not what it used to be. They used to be a lot more creative, and even to their credit, this year they became much better in the red zone. Not counting the last couple weeks, but they
Yeah.
were doing much better in the red zone. The problem was we just weren't getting down in the red zone, And now we're getting to the red zone. And here's the thing with our offense this year to kind of finish up this offensive thought
Yeah.
too. Our offense is not playing horribly. They're just not finishing like they need to. They're
Yeah.
settling for field goals way too much. We're not punting that often. If you really look
No.
at it, we're not punting hardly at all. I mean, maybe once or twice a game. Maybe a really bad game, we might punt 4 times. And there are times we punt a lot. I get that too. But overall, our offense is moving the ball. We're just not putting it in
Right.
the end zone. And you can't win games in the NFL without putting it in the end zone.
Yes. So our defense won us the game yesterday, kept
Yes,
us in the game, or won us the game.
all the above. But
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna say for sure kept us in the game and then won us the game. I mean, they point out that stat in the fourth quarter and overtime. The Indianapolis Colts had 18 yards and the Chiefs had 200 and something
Was it
yards.
zero first downs, right? Zero first downs, zero
Zero
points.
first downs. Yes.
0 points.
Zero
Yeah.
first downs, 0 points, 18 yards in the fourth quarter and overtime for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, when
Yeah.
you hold Jonathan Taylor, who's averaging over 100 yards a game,
Yeah.
to 58 yards, that's pretty successful in my eyes. If
Yeah.
you would have told me, hey, Jonathan Taylor's only going to get 58 yards this game, I would have said, man, the Chiefs probably won by a lot. I probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
said three, but I would have said, man, the Chiefs rolled in that game.
Yes.
But
Well,
hey,
that's what I know we're going to the defense, but I forgot. We had a 100-yard wide receiver and we had a 100-yard running back
man, uh,
yesterday. I mean, can we
well
believe it?
played. Well played. I know. We
I
even
mean,
had that discussion earlier. Are we going to see one this year?
yeah, we
I don't
did. We
think,
did. That was, I think, one of our topics was, and we had two in the same game,
yeah.
one each in say the same game. So it's pretty amazing.
And if I remember right, I don't think either one of us thought we'd have a 100-yard rusher this year. So,
No,
hey, hats
Kareem
off to
Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
Uh,
give him a couple days off.
yeah, before we have the Cowboys. So,
The Cowboys.
yeah,
So yeah, all right, back to our defense. Yeah, so still not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback with the four, and it seems like George is going way too high on him, and then the quarterback's just or Daniel Jones in this case was just stepping up, and it would just it didn't even bother him. It didn't seem like, and then Chris Jones still getting double teamed, and so we really need some others just to show up and help this
yeah,
defensive line because man, and I know we have a rookie on there, and but we have a couple veterans on there that we should be able to get some pressure. But their run stop was like you said, just incredible. Just to be able to hold Jonathan Taylor to just a low yard running, probably his lowest all season. I would probably have to say, right? I wouldn't
yeah.
know.
I'd have to look, but you're probably correct. But yeah, so the Chiefs defense did fantastic. They stopped Jonathan Taylor. You can see from the beginning they were committed to stopping the run,
Yeah,
and they did so. And then they said we want Daniel Jones to beat us, and they gave Daniel Jones opportunities to beat him because there are still times that they're wide open guys, and I'm sitting there thinking, what are we doing? Why is he so
yeah.
wide open? It's 3rd and 10, and he's open right at the sticks, and no one's even close to him. Like, what is, anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But so there are parts of that defense that still make me scratch my head and wonder, like, what's really happening? Are they really that good? But they did what they needed to do to win the game.
Yes, they did. They did, and they looked good. They looked good doing it. Watson looked good. McDuffie looked good. They all looked good. And Cook was coming down, laying the wood. He's looking as a safety, looking better and better in a lot of tackles. So he kind of reminds me of the Honey Badger now and the Justin Reed a little bit of esque, coming to
All
his own.
right.
It took him a little bit. So yeah. Last thing have is just our punting. I'm a little concerned. I feel like our punter Ariza is out kicking his coverage.
Yeah, he's such a good kicker that
Yes.
I mean he's kicking at 60 yards every time it seems like. And our guys just, but I think that's been the thing for a while now. Just simply our special teams coverage on
Yeah.
kickoffs as well, because it's not just punts. Kickoffs you can't out kick them because they can't move. But our special teams compared to other teams
Yeah.
are not covering like they should be, and which is surprising because Dave Tobe is one of the best special team coaches in the NFL, and he's
Yeah.
hot over there on the side.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
because remember, there's that one game they kept running it back to the 35 or 40, and Dave Tobe's like, just kick it out of the end zone, just give it to him at the 35, and then
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about them getting to the 40. I mean, when you're kicking out of the end zone, when the rules have been put in place to
Yeah.
run the ball back, your coverage is not doing well, and they've done better the last couple weeks. I'll give them that, but they still got some things to clean up in that.
So is this going to shut up the haters long enough, or I mean, I felt like everybody was burying the Chiefs. Our guy Tony Romo was burying the Chiefs, ready to put the grave in. They were trying to throw dirt on the Chiefs. I saw one guy said that Chiefs fans are going to have to get ready to talk about around Thanksgiving dinner that hey, the Chiefs aren't making the playoffs. Kids are going to want Bo Nix jerseys in Kansas
Hey,
City. I mean,
first off, I saw who that was. That guy is the biggest Chiefs hater that exists. That is Will Compton, the former NFL player who barely scratched the field and who thinks he knows everything about football. And I know I've never touched the NFL field, never even dreamed of it. Well, maybe dreamed of it, but never even got even
yeah,
sniffed close. Haven't even been able to sniff the grass and see what it is like. But there's some people that they are just out to be haters. I am convinced that Will
yeah,
Compton, either he truly just hates the Chiefs in general, or he is just trying to generate clicks for his podcast. Either
yeah,
way, I don't trust hardly anything that guy says because he is. Anyway, there's no one going to be asking for Bo Nix jerseys around Kansas City. I'm telling you, right now. I mean, I'm just. Yeah,
I knew that would
that gets
I
me
knew that would
fired
get a
up.
I
It
knew
gets
that
me
would get a
fired up
reaction
just
out of
hearing
you.
that.
There
Just,
you go. Yeah.
oh
So,
man.
what do you think the haters are going to calm down, or do you think it's going to be, hey, let's wait and see what we do against the
They're
Cowboys?
going to say, well, they had to go to overtime to win, and they're not going to calm down yet. The Chiefs are going to have
Okay.
to move into one of the playoff seeds before the haters are going to calm down. And even then, they're not going to. We know that. But
No.
to make them calm down at least a little bit, they're going to have to force their way into the playoffs. And so right now, they have to rely on other teams losing to get there. So, but we can only control what we can control, and that's winning the next game. So
Winning the next game. Here we go.
we're on to the Cowboys, as Bill Belichick would say.
That's right.
So, all right. Hey, well, lots of good things happening. We are here on another Victory Monday. Glad to see the sun out, even though it's not out. Glad to feel that warm rain. Glad to feel just the feeling of another Victory Monday. We've been missed. And Patrick Mahomes maintains his record of not losing 3 games in a row to start his career. So hats off to him. He hit another milestone in the 35,000-yard passing club, youngest and
Man.
fastest to ever do it. So there's lots of good things happening with the Chiefs. To finish this up real quick, the Chiefs, if they clean up the little things, the
Hmm.
turnovers and the penalties, they're gonna start winning these games and probably win out. Honestly, if they will clean up the turnovers and penalties, they will win the rest of the games,
Yeah.
every single one of them. I'll tell you right now, especially if they're continuing to focus on the run like they did against the Colts.
There you
So
go. Let's do it. Let's run it. Let's get some more running backs in the back room, in the running back room.
yeah, well, let's just put 8 back there. Let's just see what happens. So
Rotate them in. Keep them fresh.
that's right. That's right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. We're so glad you came here to join us. This episode is brought to you by Oh Threads. You can get your own super soft tee or hoodie at ohheythreads.com. And every purchase you make there goes to support missions all over the world. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.